Yes.
Hi.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Thank you.
Mayor, can you talk into the mic?
Hello, hello. Yeah, just hold on. He's gonna explain. Oh, this is your. Yeah.
I didn't notice it.
I know. Yeah, you can. You can see it flickering in the camera.
It was kind of spooky.
It's our ghost of City Hall.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start the city council meeting for Tuesday, November 9th at 7 p.m. And take a moment of silence. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Here.
Councilmember Gorno.
Here.
Councilmember Zavala. Councilmember De La Fuente.
And council member Sophie Sotero will not be here tonight. So we need a motion to use her
I
place.
make a motion to approve her absence.
And motion by Mark, seconded by Vera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Motion approved. Okay, we need to vote in the meeting agenda, please.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I have a motion by Mark, seconded by Diana. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved.
Aye.
Thank you. Visitors comments? Do we have any visitors comments tonight? Is there anybody online, Josh?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we'll move on. I need a motion for the consent agenda, please.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second the motion. I have a motion by Mark, seconded by Diana. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Okay, next, we'll go on to our public hearing. This public hearing is going to start at 7:02. And it is the review of the tax levy increase for 2022 on page 25. We discussed earlier. 22. Do we have any discussion or any comments on this levy?
Okay, Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead.
I want to say, actually thankful to that executive session that we had. I went back, I was looking at the numbers, and actually I was having a discussion with our previous treasurer, Jameson Horner, and we went and realized that the number that they had given us actually went down on the paperwork. Now, hang on, and I'm going to show everybody what it was that I was looking at. So there is a page missing from your packet that I didn't realize. So it didn't get scanned in. But this page actually shows us the calculations. It shows, so here it shows the calculations with our previous amount. And then it shows us the percent of the increase. Now the page that you all received usually has the total here with the letter, this amount here, the 175, 474, 96, which is typically the number that you should include on your ordinance. That's what's on the ordinance. But that number should always be at least it should be a little bit more, 1% more to be exact, 1% more than what you requested the year before. So I went back and I looked at our number from last year and found the number to be, I wrote it down here, 177, 626, and 40. And I went, why would we be receiving less than we received the year previous? That didn't make sense. It didn't jive in my brain. And then, like I said, Jameson confirmed that's not how that works. So we went back and looked. Actually, we found the page. So there's a typo. There's a typo on the letter that they sent us. So we'll have to talk to the people at Yakima County and make sure that we have things accurate. But the ordinance that we're passing tonight has this amount, 183, 467, 26. So luckily we saw it before we got statutorily bound to less money than we were owed, because it's only a small increase anyway. So that, like I said, so that was our update. That's what the update for the ordinance is, and that's where the number directly came from. So I would say if there's any other questions on that, I'm happy to answer, but that's what the change was that you guys got in between meetings.
You guys have any questions?
Sorry, but I didn't understand what you said. I couldn't hear it clearly. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you clearly.
Maybe I need to turn up, because remember I turned down the volume so.
So what he said then is this page right here is what we got from the assessor's office. But what he's saying is they made a typo on this amount. Right. So it's actually supposed to be, right. Okay. So, and they're going to get with the assessor and correct this. But we need to put it in the ordinance, with the correct number. Okay. That's not correct.
Except the correct one's the one I just gave you.
Right. Any other questions? Questions for the public? Okay, so we'll go ahead and if there's no questions, we'll go ahead and end this at 7:07. And then we have our next public hearing for the preliminary budget. That's on page 11 and 12. That preliminary budget that is going to start at 7:08. So this is a public hearing for our budget. Total budget from January 1 to December 31, 2022. Our estimated total budget is $7,534,500. Do we have any questions on this?
No?
You guys have any questions? Council? Mark?
No.
Okay. All right, I guess we'll go ahead and in this public hearing for the preliminary budget
Yeah.
at 7:09.
Yeah, so I would just suggest everyone just take a minute and read through that budget message. It should keep everything in order and fairly clear. I mean, then if you have any other questions, you're not public, you're council, so just let me know and we'll see if we can go through them together, okay?
And just remember when you get home tonight to make sure that you put your new papers in the budget and pull the old ones out, all right? And if you need, if you can bring those here if you like, and we can shred them. Okay, so we'll go on to, we have no old business. We'll go ahead and go on to new business. Mark, you need to come in and get your budget packet, okay? When you have a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I can stop by tomorrow.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll move on. First thing is approval of resolution 2021-18, authorizing the mayor to sign the contract with Yakima County Technology Services, YCTS, for the technology service, for our technology services. What we discussed earlier, this is for all of our emails, all the stuff that the county does for us.
I'm making motion to approve a resolution 2021-18, authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with Yakima County Technology Services for technological services.
Thank you. I have a motion by Mark and seconded by Judy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Next thing is approval of ordinance 2021-1173, an ordinance establishing the amount of taxes to be lived upon real and personal property with the city of Mapton, Washington, and also fix the tax levy rate for the 2022 calendar year.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 2021-1173, an ordinance establishing the amount of taxes to be lived upon real and personal property with the city of Mapton, Washington, also fixing the tax levy rate for the 2022 calendar rate.
Okay, I have a motion by Mark, seconded by Vera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Next, staff meetings. We'll start with Jamin tonight from GNO.
Yeah, I figured we're working on a number of projects right now, and there hasn't been anything on the council agenda, so I haven't seen none from all of it. So maybe quite a few we can talk about where projects are at a little bit, quick update. Transportation projects. Where do we start? Washington Street is basically complete. Well, sounds like maybe a construction issue we need to talk about. There's one outstanding construction issue. One of the sidewalk ramps on the highway fairly out of compliance. And unfortunately, at that point, WashDOT has jurisdiction, and they will accept no tiny deviation in compliance. And so we're working with the contractor. They're not real excited about fixing it. So we're working with them to get them to fix it. Because ultimately, the city has no option. Like WashDOT says it's out. The good news is at this point, the street's fully accessible to the city citizens. And so the longer they wait to do it, the longer it waits before we start the warranty period. So it doesn't really hurt us if they want to wait. Finish it because it just extends the city's warranty. And so we're working with them on that. But Other than that, that project is going to potentially an issue with some of the chip seal, or the fog seal. That project is basically complete. There is maybe some reimbursement paperwork still. Joshua, that's where that is at. Complete Streets Funding Program. Worked with the mayor and city staff, and it's the funding agency that funded the city park sidewalk a couple years ago. And it's a weird one because you have to go through a whole bunch of nominators. You end up applying to a whole bunch of different organizations that then hopefully select the city to put us in the pot for money. And so we did a whole slew of applications, all the different nominators, over October and November, or really November. And we'll see. The hope is to get money to do sidewalk along North Street, connect out towards where the farm workers live. So, looking across, we have a couple $100,000 of grant that would fund some sidewalk. Main Street. We've been saying, well, one of these years to finally get to do construction on Main Street. City had to get in line for money, and it was going to sit there for a long time. Well, next year, looking like that's going to be the city's year, and so we are in the push to get design done. There are some key agencies that we need approvals from, and those are the biggest hurdles. The design is, 60-70% complete. Like most of the design is complete. So in the next couple months, we'll be doing an in-house review. We'll need to do a meeting with the city staff, city representatives to go over the design. We have a meeting with the city staff with the railroad. That's the biggest hurdle is railroad approval. Because remember, Main Street is going to go from Washington to South Street, and it's a full reconstruction with new sidewalk on both sides. So that's has to cross the railroad, and so they honestly with the railroad we have to do pretty much whatever they say, and so they were having us change the way we were doing the sidewalk over through their area. We need railroad approval. We need washout approval. Washout approval. Ultimately, we're going to put another crosswalk across the highway and get better sidewalks through there, so hopefully it'll make it safer for kids that are crossing the highway. Washout approval should be a little easier than railroad approval. And then the final thing is it will include new illumination along the main. So we need coordination with Pacific Power. So at this point, goal is, I was talking to Mike Meskin, who's the project manager today. The biggest hurdle is the railroad because the railroad does whatever they want to do, and we can't do much to. They won't talk to us until we're almost ready to the project, and then they'll take as much time as they want. And so the hope is if we meet with the railroad in December, that we should have approval early next year, so that we could get the project and advertise in March. Look to then construction through the summer, which would help with the schools. We do not have construction all schools out. So in that, we'll do an internal meeting. We'll do a meeting with the city to go over design, meeting with railroad, maybe a meeting with WashDOT, and working with Pacific Power. And then that will be, again, full sidewalk and street from Washington all the way across. There was some new improvements along at the highway that was done a couple years ago. And that was coordinated at the time with knowing this project was coming. We kind of did one improvement of crossing the highway, and then this project will kind of finish out the rest of it all the way to South Street. So yeah, that's where we're on Main Street.
A lot of hours, a lot of time.
It is.
Really glad it's finished. I'm really glad, the money part is finished.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot. So 2014. We've been working on this since 2014. The money is just now about to come to the city to do construction.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be phenomenal. It's over $1 million in construction. And remember, we got TIV to cover the city's match. We just heard today that not only are they going to cover the city's match going forward, they're going to back fund the city's match on all the design back to 2014. We weren't sure we thought they might go back a couple of years.
Turn on your,
Pardon?
can you
Oh,
turn?
I didn't see that. I didn't hear myself. They're going to back fund the city's match in all of 2014. And so Russ from our office will be working with Josh, make sure he has what he needs to get that all reimbursed. So that was very exciting.
Matches are really, really exciting for the city because a lot of times we'll get, a fund, we'll give you $1 million, but you have to match us $200,000. And so that $200,000 is a lot of money for us to come up with. So if we can get out there and rock and roll and find that match, then it doesn't cost us anything. Then it's just free.
Yep.
And so
This was a 13.5% match the city's been paying
this
on
was a
design
big
all
match.
along. And it was going to have to pay through construction. And so now he's covering it moving forward, and they're back on that at 13.5% the city. That better, Sylvia?
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, I needed to yell, so all that. The fourth transportation project is the park and ride. That's the most recent one we've been talking about. Our guys have been working on conceptual designs, trying, I get back what you tell me. So they said, council wants more parking spots. They want more parking there, less grass, more parking. So they're working on some conceptual designs. The first piece is then to give you guys conceptual designs to look at. You choose what you want before we go to plans and specs. Make sure it's what you want before we're at the point where it's kind of complicated and expensive to make changes. So that should be coming soon. I was copied on emails, so I know we're getting there. So hopefully in the next month, the next few council meetings, there will be something on that. Kind of choose how you want to approach the parking ride. Those are the 4 transportation projects, 2 water projects. One is the water system plan. We're updating the water system plan, and the idea of the water system plan is to look all the components of the water system, evaluate how you're doing on capacity, look at your current water use, project it out for 10 and 20-year periods, compare that to your existing users, your existing consumption, and then identify any deficiencies. Obviously, you pumped a lot of water in your water system, a lot of money in your water system, and so storage standpoint, in great shape. And truly, for the most part, it's looking like in great shape. We're right in the middle of that analysis right now of comparing the projected demands for water with the projected system capacity and look for any deficiencies. But I've worked on a few of these. The city's in better shape, certainly, than it was 10 years ago in other water systems. We put a lot of time in the water system. And we are also including, segue into the next topic, well 7 in that analysis. It's basically, once you get well 7, you will then assess that capacity, assuming that project. That's the other water project we're working on. We were waiting to start design until CDBG approved all your environmental paperwork, because they wouldn't turn the tap on to start reimbursing you for the engineering work until the environmental was approved. We kind of paused anything, very much work on that until we got the environmental done, and they'd turn the tap on for reimbursement. So Josh and I have just been talking. We're going to working on getting the reimbursement. Now they've approved it. Number one, we kicked off design with hydrogeologists. We're looking at well siting, the initial design for the well, and then Josh is working on getting the money flowing to back reimburse the city for the work that we've already done on it. And that, again, as a reminder, that project is funded by CDBG and RD. The first $750,000 is all grant, and about $1 million after that is part grant, part loan. So we'll spend the grant first. Spend the grant first, and then we'll have to spend, and the next one the agency makes it spend the loan, and then finally the rest of the grant. So that's where we're at. We're hoping to. Drillers are really busy right now, but hoping to be able to advertise that project early in the year. And be a little bit subject to the driller schedule, but hopefully, really nice to have it drilled by early summer, so that we know what flow rate, we know what the well is, and we can design the pump and all the equipment at the well, with the goal of having that by next summer. We'll hopefully have that over summer. Which is basically what I'm talking about. That was a lot of words. I think those are the projects we're working on for the city right now, in addition to some various ongoing operational support staff. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer it.
No, I just wanna thank you and your organization for all the help that you give the city and all the help that you give me as an individual with, me having to do different spiels to people. I really appreciate you guys lending me a hand when with information and stuff when I need to do those. And you guys we just need to keep pushing forward and keep looking for that money and now get the other end of Main Street done. That's the next goal, is the other end of Main Street.
Yep. No, thank you very much. It's an honor working for the city. Appreciate our.
I would like to say something. I made Josh let me in. I forced Josh to change me to a panelist. Damon, I haven't seen you in so long, but thank you so much for getting that match backdated to 2014. That is amazing. I don't know if everybody realizes how bad off our street fund is and what a difference that is going to make. That is absolutely huge. When I asked for it to begin with, I honestly did not think that they would allow it. And I was just bouncing off my chair when I heard you say that. So I just want to say, like, awesome, 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 awesome. I'm so thankful for you guys.
That's really crazy cool.
I wasn't sure that, it was one of the things that we would ask if they would backfund it, but there's a long way to backfund something. So it's hot off the presses. They want the city to, they tell us, like, send us a, we want to send you some money, send us a report. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've been very lucky with the funding agencies. Yeah, definitely. They've been really, really good to the city of Mountain, and the last couple of years, they've been awesome for us. And, you know, as long as we all keep up the good work, then they're going to keep giving us money.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you very much.
guys.
Sylvia, do you have anything that you'd like to
No.
talk about? Juan?
No staff reports.
No. I do want to just FYI, they did start flushing lines this morning. So if you turn on if anybody turns on their faucet and it's a little bit dark, it's just because they're flushing all the main lines. Just let your water run for a minute. They'll clear right up. Okay. Josh, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, ma'am, I think I'm okay.
Jamie, attorney?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. I don't really think I have much either. So thank you, all of you, for coming tonight, and we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 7:24.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.